So, without further ado, we always start with your recent form. Leicester have won all of their last 6 games in all competitions, second in the league. Leicester were considered a dark horse for the top 4 going into the season, but surely even you guys couldn't have possibly imagined as good a season as this so far as we head into December.
I'm going to quote Claudio Ranieri from a few seasons ago: 40 points, and then we go for the title. Dilly ding, dilly dong.
Oh God, I love that.
No, seriously. The expectations was maybe pushing into that top 6 barrier. You know, it's a tough one to break, isn't it? The top 6, and I don't know. We've just seemed to. We're just so flipping good right now. We really are. You know, I'm enjoying it. I suppose people keep saying it won't last forever. It won't last forever. So let's enjoy it while it is here. You know.
Well, absolutely, and I think you're talking about breaking the top 6. I think you've already done that. To be honest, it's a case of hanging on for top 4 for you guys now. I think the top 6, I'd say, is done and dusted already for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think running up to Christmas, no games are easy in the Premier League.
Of course not.
But running up to Christmas, we've got 4 easier fixtures, including yourself. Sorry, it's just the way that it's looked at the minute.
It is.
And then we've got Man City and Liverpool back to back before and after Christmas Day.
Oh wow, that's a heavy set of fixtures.
But the 4 fixtures leading up to it, I think if we can get all 12 points, we're already 10 points ahead of 5th place. I think if we can get all 12 points from the next 4 fixtures, I think Champions League guaranteed.
Fair play. If that does prove to be the case, I mean, it's been an outstanding start to the season.
Yeah.
And of course, well, Leicester are no strangers to spring and a pleasant surprise. Obviously, the 2016 title win is still very fresh in everybody's minds.
Yeah, you boys were here when we lifted that title, weren't you? You boys were here.
Unfortunately, yes, we were.
Yeah.
In fact, funnily enough, that occasion was that very day could be very similar to the kind of day we're expecting on Sunday, because just days later we ended up sacking our manager. That time that was Roberto Martinez, and now Marco Silva could well be heading the very same way. But like I say, you're second now. You look very impressive. Obviously, you are behind Liverpool by a couple of points. But do you fancy your chances on getting your hands on another league title?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the mark of someone who's been there and seen it.
Yeah, no, nothing's impossible with Leicester. You know, we've proved that nothing's impossible. And again, there's no expectations in this club. Like a lot of the big boys there's too much expectations from fans, and there's a lot of pressure on some of the managers. I don't think we have any kind of pressure or expectations at our club, which is also why I think we're flying. I think the media isn't like on our backs. You know, the media's on Man United's backs because they're lower down the table. The media are on Man City and Liverpool, and Spurs not doing so well and sacking their manager and getting Jose in. Leicester seems to be just creeping behind the scenes, you know. It's great for us.
I think that it's a very good position to be in. And ironically, I think that's you're saying Leicester thrive because there's no pressure. I think that is the issue with Everton, because we're such a big club that's underachieved for so long. Is that the fans are so angry.
Yeah.
That the players can't breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. It must be bad to see them doing so well as well, Liverpool.
It hurts, I'm not going to lie, but to be honest, it doesn't bother me as much as Everton underachieving does. Because I could live with... I saw Liverpool win a Champions League in 2005, but we got in the top 4 that season, and so we still enjoyed the season.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is I can live with them winning anything if we do okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're doing anything but okay right now. It's been a really, really difficult season.
It's mad, isn't it? What is it between Leicester historically? Is it 6 wins? I'm trying to go off the top of my head. 9 losses, is it, between the two? Leicester and Everton?
I'm not too sure. I'll be honest. I haven't done my homework on the actual fixture.
I think it's 6 wins to Leicester. I think it's 8 losses to to yourselves. And 14 draws between the pair, I think.
I know there's been a hell of a lot of draws.
Yeah, and I think you did the double honours in 2018, the calendar year 2018. So I think we've got.
You did, yeah.
So I think we've got some. Goals to score on the weekend.
Yeah. Well, you managed to put 9 past Southampton. I don't see why you can't put at least 5 past us.
Well, we've put 17 to 1 on aggregate over the last few weeks, mate. That's how mad our goal scoring aggregate is. It's just mad.
You've got to tip yourself to increase that this weekend.
Yeah. Well, Vardy is 5 in 5 as well. He holds the record, as you know, for the most.
Is he going for his record? Break his own record?
The thing is, Ruud van Nistelrooy did that. He held a record and then broke his own. Then Vardy's broke it.
So now it's his turn to break his own and then break it again.
Maybe.
Of course, we're talking about Liverpool. They're the sides you would have to overhaul if you're to win it. And they, of course, were also managed by Brendan Rodgers themselves. Rodgers had a bit of a near miss with Liverpool in the title race, and then he's gone on to do well with you guys and Celtic in between. Would you consider him now to be among the top managers in Europe?
Yeah, of course. Of course he is. He's turned us from not knocking Claude Puel. It was a difficult thing to try and do. He had to try and transition Leicester from playing counter-attack stuff that everyone worked out. He tried to make us play possession-style football, but just didn't have any idea going forward for attack. And Brendan Rodgers has walked in, grasped that concept and turned it into his own formula. And we are now playing, I'd say, Claude Puel mixed with Brendan Rodgers, and it's just looking good. So Brendan Rodgers, for me, he does great job. He's doing a great job.
I think that is a bit of an issue with Everton. Of course, we've got a bit of an issue with our manager. A lot of fans want him sacked after we got beat against Norwich at home last weekend.
We want him to stay until the game's finished, and then you can sack him.
That could well prove to be the case.
Yeah,
but Marco Silva's widely disliked by the Everton fan base now. What's your opinion on Marco Silva and what he's done with Everton?
To be quite honest with you, over the last probably few weeks, I've not caught up with a lot of the other teams' football. Really, I've just literally focused on Leicester over the last few weeks. I've been really busy, but just looking at the stats alone, you're just creeping further down the table. Something's got to give. So growing up as a young lad, Everton, like I say, were this established Premier League side. For me, they've always been that top 10 Premier League established side that I always wanted Leicester to try and achieve to when I was a kid. And, you had David Moyes there for, what was it, 10 years?
11 years.
11 years, right? And that's what you were. I know you didn't win major trophies, blah, 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 but you did establish yourself to push for the boundaries of top 6 and stuff.
The best way to describe it is we weren't a successful side, but everybody respected us. No one respects us now.
Yes, definitely.
That's exactly how it is. The club's a laughingstock now.
Yeah. Well, I don't say a laughingstock, mate. All teams go for it. Look where Sunderland are now.
Oh yeah, well,
they were a Premier League side. Not what 3 years ago.
It was 3 years ago.
Look where they are. And you can say the same thing with some other teams as well. It does happen in football. No one's invincible.
Yeah, I think that's the thing our fans need to realise, because it's that kind of expectation that we should be in the top 6 that really weighs the club down at times, when we don't give anyone the room to breathe and maybe help the club grow in the long term. But on that note, our fan base, like I say, a lot of people have turned against Marco Silva. If Leicester found themselves in the position we're in right now, what would you do as a fan? What would you want? Would you sack Marco Silva, or would you keep him?
Yeah, I'd probably want... It's early though, isn't it? What is it, 13 games in?
I think that's what we're at, yeah.
It's early, isn't it? It is early days, but at the same time, people will say, well, that's good, because that means you've got plenty of time to fix it.
Yeah.
You can play it both ways, It depends where you are in the league. January transfer window, no one's going to want to come to you anyway. If you're, below the 15th spot, no one's interested. It's hard. It's hard to get out of it.
It's a really difficult situation for us to be in.
It is.
And also, I think the situation is we're so bad at recruiting players. It's unbelievably poor.
You see, the thing is, if you get a new manager in, sometimes you have like a bounce, don't you? Bounce back where you start winning games on the, to improve.
Yeah, we've experienced that ourselves a lot recently.
But it's a quick fix. It's not a long-term strategy.
No, I don't think we've had a long-term strategy. Even when Moyes was manager, I know we did well, but that was just survive every season. We haven't had a long-term strategy for a long time.
Well, yeah, but you mentioned Moyes, but I mean, when you say Moyes, it was there a long time. He's the one that's created technically your fan base of expectations of top six. That's Moyes did that. Moyes has created that for you guys.
Near enough, yeah. Well, I mean, we weren't successful. We never won anything, but we expected to at least be in the top half every season.
Yeah,
and that's still the case, and I think it'll always be the case wherever Everton are. I think if we're not in the top half of the Premier League, the fans will be angry. And I think now that there is money to spend as well since the takeover, I think the expectations gone through the roof, and maybe that is weighing on the players and the manager.
I think you need to look at it in a different way. The Premier League's changed. A lot of teams are look at teams coming up like Sheffield United. Look how well they're playing. The quality is a lot different now. The top six. I wish that wasn't a thing, because there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams, and there's teams like yourselves, big teams like Newcastle. They've been down. They've come up. They've been down. They've come up. You can't take it for granted just because you're a big club.
That's absolutely the case. I mean, there's plenty of big names that are struggling this season.
Yeah.
And I think, I've been trying to establish this with a lot of our fans. A lot of fans are prepared for a relegation fight, but we often feel like some of the players we got, maybe the kind of players we brought in are quite big name players who maybe don't have the stomach for a relegation fight.
So when Leicester were promoted into the Premier League, back, was it 4 years ago now?
2015, first game up.
First game was against you, wasn't it? That season.
It was, yeah.
It was at the King Power, and I remember seeing Lukaku for the first time, and I thought, wow, this guy's a beast. And you had other players in the middle as well, and it was just like, I don't see that in you guys anymore. I don't see like a threat almost going forward. I don't know. I'm sorry to say, but I think at the weekend we're going to give you a pasting.
I mean, I could easily go, there's no need to be that arrogant, but I absolutely believe what you say.
I just believe Leicester at the minute. We're on fire, and I don't think nothing's going to stop that at the minute.
I don't think many teams would stop you, but we're certainly not going to. I can guarantee you that.
So my score prediction for the weekend, I'll get this in now, is going to be a 2-0 win.
2-0?
But a comfortable 2-0 win. Like, it should have been 5, but it's 2.
Well, I was going to go with 4-1.
Okay.
I think we might get the odd goal, but 4-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0. Madders to get the first goal.
Decent prediction. We often do the predictions later on in the show, actually. But
I know, but I want to change things up a bit because I'm sure there's plenty to talk about.
There's plenty more to talk about. I mean, we've discussed this already a fair bit, but Everton were named alongside Leicester as maybe the outsiders for a European place to start of the season. Okay. And of course, there was only one position to separate us last year. What do you think's gone so wrong for Everton compared to what's gone right for Leicester?
Like you said, signings. Leicester have just practically kept the same team, but managing changed. The manager, you've got a winning formula from Celtic, Brendan Rodgers and his team, Kolo Touré. He's brought all of his management team with him, and he's just shaped it into his own thing with the help of signing Yuri Tillemans, which any big club should have signed. Don't know why none of the big boys signed him. It was unreal. It was happy here on loan the season beforehand, and I don't know about Everton, mate. You just don't look strong. I've not seen you with the last few games, but over the course of this season, you just don't. I don't know. There's something missing. Something missing. Big man up top, maybe.
I'm kind of glad you've actually touched on a lot of things there in what you've just said about Leicester. You said Brendan Rodgers brought his whole backroom team with him.
Yes.
Well, Marco Silva lost his assistant manager in the summer.
Right.
Which is a very big thing. And he brought in Luis Boamorte, who hasn't really done anything. He doesn't look like he's offering anything as assistant. In addition, you say you kept the same team. We lost Kurt Zuman and Idrissa Gueye. Both very, very important players in the spine of the team. And of course, like you say, we still haven't brought in a proper replacement for Lukaku since he left.
No.
So, like you say, the entire spine of our team is missing.
Yeah, I mean, a player like Lukaku, I wouldn't say he had the best of seasons at Man United. Overall, he's a difficult player to replace.
Absolutely.
You know, and it would be the same thing with Leicester. If we lost Jamie Vardy, I think there's no other Jamie Vardy in the Premier League. You know,
there isn't.
He's a one-of-a-kind player. It's like Harry Kane. He's kind of a one-of-a-kind player. You can't replace your number 9, and I don't think you have.
Like I say, I think it's a difficult thing to do at the best of times, but we've made an absolute pig's ear of it in the last 3 years. We've brought in so many strikers, they've all flopped. And like you say, you look at the team that you'll come up against, you won't be scared of any striker you see up front for Everton. Even if it's Richarlison playing up front, he's still not a deadly enough goal threat to make your defence worry.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, who would you sign? Who would you want to come to Everton that would potentially come to Everton to maybe sort that out?
It's hard to say.
I'm looking at someone like Callum Wilson.
No.
Not good enough?
No. I don't think I think we'd be stung for him. We'd have to pay stupid money, which would only add to the stupidity of our transfer policy in the first place.
So who would you go for?
It's a difficult one because
Jamie Vardy. I thought you were going to say Jamie Vardy then.
It's a very, very difficult. Well, you look like Jamie Vardy. Do you want to play up front?
Listen, I might look like him, but I don't play like him.
Trust me, mate. You could not be worse than any of our strikers. Have a go.
Oh dear.
Or even if it's just for this weekend, so you can throw the game in Leicester's favour.
I've played on the King Power a couple of times, to be fair, with the legends, so it's been good fun.
What legends would that be?
Jerry Taggart, Matty Elliott.
Taggart, he was good.
Joachim, remember Julian Joachim?
Julian Joachim, wow. I didn't actually know he played for you guys. I thought he was on Villa.
No, Leicester, Villa. I think he played for a lot of East Midlands clubs.
Played for Coventry.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Who else was he? Is it?
That whole team, more or less, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more. Some really rough-looking ones. They look rough now.
Steve Guppy,
Gary Parker, Steve Guppy.
There's Gary Parker. There's the throwback.
Sean St. Ledger. Remember Sean St.
Oh
Ledger?
my God, yeah.
The list goes on.
That's not a bad team to come up though. To play on the King Power with those guys, that's good.
It's a dream, mate. Living the dream.
You've lived plenty of the dream.
I've done a few things, mate. Celebrated on the bus tonight when we won the league.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that'll be quite an experience.
That was mad, mate.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We're talking about living the dream. You're second in the league now. Why not dream of another title?
Just imagine if it does happen again. We can actually say, like, to everyone that just pointed out and saying it's a one-season wonder or it was a fluke. You can't win the Premier League by 10 points, by the way, being a fluke. I don't care what anyone says. People might have underperformed, but we won that league by 10 points clear. Not by goal difference. 10 fecking points. You know? It means something to us.
Of course it does. I think it'd mean something to any team who was written off and then go on to win the league. And I mean, I don't see why he can't. I mean, there's still so much to play for, like you say. So give it time. Let's see what happens. And obviously, I'm an Everton fan. I'd love you to sneak above them. You know what I mean?
Of course you would. Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Oh yeah.
Who are you rooting for out of the two? It's obvious as it is.
I think that's a silly question. And speaking of silly questions, we're going to end at one here. Bit of a stupid question considering the golfing performances this season. But if you could add one Everton player to your current team, who would you go for?
Is Sigurdsson still there? I can't remember.
He is still there.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I think he's similar to Maddison, but older.
But look, last season when he turned Madders and fucking buried that one in the corner?
He did indeed. Yeah, that was a very, very good
what goal. A goal that was. I stood up and clapped that goal. I don't do that often. But
he is a very, very good player on his day, and his day has not existed this season.
You know, the reason why I asked, is he still with you? Because if am I right, is he injured or something? Or
no, he's been getting benched because he's been underperforming.
Ah, okay, that's why I asked the question.
Sigurdsson's underperforming has been one of the main reasons why I don't think we've achieved anywhere near as much as we should have done this season.
Well, I'm going to revert the question back to yourselves. Who would you love in the Everton squad out of Leicester?
Oh, I mean, the obvious one, given the striker issue, would be Vardy, but I'm going to go a bit more left field, I think, with my one. Well, I say left field, but it's a direct replacement. And we may well have a similar player to this guy in our team, but he's injured, Jean-Philippe Baman. But I'll go with Wilfred Ndidi.
Yeah, okay. Wilfred Ndidi's top of like charts for interceptions and everything in Europe, man. He's a kind of player that I think makes Leicester tick right now. You know, Maddison and Tielemans can play complete free, knowing that Ndidi will pick up the pieces if they do cock it up.
That's it, yeah.
It's almost what Mahrez and Drinkwater could sort of do when Kante was behind. It's so reminiscent of that.
It's almost on that note what Everton could do until last year when Idrissa Gana Gueye was here.
Yeah, like free-flowing midfield with a CDM sitting behind, and we'll just pick all the pieces up.
We knew we knew last season if we lost the ball, Idrissa Gueye would win it back. We haven't got that this season. So if Maddison and Tielemans can find a bit of space on Sunday, I think you'll have an absolute field day.
Oh man. Well, I've already given my prediction.
I've already given even more stark predictions. So having already sort of got past the hurdle of what is your score prediction, we're going to end on a slightly lighter note, and by God, as an Everton fan, we need one. What's your favourite film and why?
Favourite film and why?
Indeed.
Ooh, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Snatch.
Snatch?
Because I practically know the lines for that film because I've watched it maybe 100 times.
That's a very interesting shout.
Tommy the Tit is praying, and if he ain't, he fucking should be.
they're the kind of shouts, like, I mean, I've got a couple of films of that ilk that I'm fond of myself, but I've recently seen the new Joker film, and I thought that was one of the best films I've seen. Have you watched it yet?
I've not seen it yet. I've got two little ones, and me and Mrs. are dying to have a date night, and it's just not happening right now.
Something tells me that's not one you'd want to watch in front of the kids.
It's not one for the kids.
All I will say is, though, if Everton managed to somehow pull off a win against Leicester on Sunday, I'll happily dance down the stairs.
I like that.
Innit?
Are you coming to the King Power?
Unfortunately not, no.
No.
I'll probably be recording another video because we've got the Mersey Derby in midweek, haven't we, with Liverpool? So
yeah,
there's a little plug for the viewers out there. I'll be doing another one of these shows on Sunday ahead of the Derby, so yeah, check that out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably be doing that on Sunday almost directly after I've just been pasted by you guys. So it's going to be a fun weekend for me.
Yeah, it is. If you get a win, it'll be good. But I honestly don't feel that, mate.
Oh, it's not going to happen, mate. I mean, we're probably one of them. We'll probably pull off a 0-0 draw. That'll save his job just so we can get pasted in the derby or something.
It's not what you want.
We don't even want to win though now, because if he keeps his job for longer, it's absolute chaos. Like you say, I think the poor man, he needs putting out of his misery. If it was a dog, he'd have been put down by now.
Take him out back and get a shotgun out.
Yeah, put a tent round him. It's like. But yeah, that's just the way it is right now. I mean,
listen, to any of your followers on your social medias and your YouTube viewers, if any of you guys are coming to the Leicester game, I record content pre-match, post-match, interviews and stuff with fans on Leicester Fan TV. We'll be at the Blues Bar, which is across from the shop at the ground. So if you do fancy meeting up, I'll be there.
There you go. Chappie, you come out with the shout there if you want to. Maybe you're doing any vlogs in there. You're going to be filming any pre-match stuff in there with the fans, or?
Yeah, I'll do whatever.
Well, there you go, guys. If you want to have a little chat with a Leicester fan and maybe find out what it's like to speak to an optimist for once, yeah, be sure to check out Chappie in the Blues Bar outside the King Power. And of course, we've got. So that's on Sunday, guys. Go to the King Power Stadium to play Leicester City. Obviously not the most optimistic at the moment, but be sure to check out all our content in the build-up to that game, and be sure to check out Chappie's channel, Leicester Fan TV, as well. And thank you guys for watching on the Toffee Blues.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having you again, Chappie.